Well then, the intro is always pretty interesting to watch. It gets you pumped. Rifle! Woo! Smashing that door! Yeah! Awesome! Yeah! What's a pop-a-loppin'? But it's time your old rifle moves on from that intro here soon. I think it's about time for me to get another normal, casual intro like the one you just saw. But the question is, what exactly am I going to do? Maybe you guys have some crazy ideas for an awesome intro. But don't get me twisted. I'm still going to be using that intro every now and then. I know some of you guys don't enjoy seeing it that much. You're like, oh god, this thing. Ugh. But yeah, I'm still going to be using it every now and then. But that's not what this video is about, guys. What's going on, everyone? It's your rifle here. Except this time I'm not greeting myself while smashing through a door. This time I'm just simply talking through a mic. How beautiful. And you know what else is beautiful? All these exotic hunter helmets I'm going to be going over. Which there is a total of 4 of these bad boys so far. The Knucklehead Radar, the Achlyophage Symbiote, the Master of the Third Man, and lastly but not least, coming from the dark below, the ATS-8 Arachnid, which I like to call it the Arachnid for short. How creative. Anyways, the first exotic hunter helmet I'm going to be going over is the Achlyophage Symbiote. And I'm going to start this helmet off with some fun facts. Fun facts. And to get started with this helmet, in case you guys didn't know, Achlyo is the Greek word for darkness, and for the word phage is actually a combining form meaning. It means a thing that devours, and it literally says a thing. It can be anything. Now, I'm not so sure about your dressers devouring your clothing, but pretty much it can be anything. And as for symbiote, that basically means it is beneficial to you. So to sum it up, this helmet is basically the eater of the darkness, and it's beneficial to you because it gains you light. Stop that! No! Stop that! That's unnecessary. No! No! Okay, anyways, the description on this helmet reads, they told me it would eat my thoughts and leave me full of light. It's an interesting description, I'll give it that. But I'm not so sure on what exactly this is trying to say by they told me. Who are they? I must know. It has tipped my curiosity, and now I officially have a boner. I can only hope it wasn't an evil group of zebras wearing fishnets, with an angry security gorilla by their side, and one cute flamingo for distraction. I can only hope that's not true, that that's not who they are. Because if it is, we might have a little bit of black magic on our hands involving this helmet, wielding it on our character. It's absolutely disgusting thinking that. But no, this description goes deeper. It gets juicy, like a sirloin steak cooked on a special day. Anyways, I mean, the description, it makes somewhat sense. I mean, come on, think about it. I get why they gave him the helmet, so it could fill the wielder with light. I mean, Achlyophage is the eater of darkness, but why did this wielder need light, and why exactly am I even worrying about this? Nah, I'm just kidding. It's crazy though to think about. And if you take a good look at the helmet, it shows something pulsating as if it was living in the helmet. Living inside the helmet because it's moving around. And seeing that this helmet is the eater of darkness, it actually could be referencing Solaire from Dark Souls. If you guys don't know who Solaire is, well basically he goes out to seek his very own light. After much searching he finds a sunlight maggot. Yeah, that's right, I said maggot. And this maggot is also glowing as well. But anyway, Solaire, instead of the obvious smart choice to eat the maggot, he decided to put it on top of his head. And then he went crazy and he tries to attack you in the game. So honestly, I actually think this is kind of a little Easter egg put in this helmet as well. I mean, it is heard that Bungie is a fan of Dark Souls, which is crazy to think. And also, where in the heck in any type of other media have you heard of some type of parasite or something that eats away the darkness? There might be a lot, but as far to my knowledge, there is not. Especially seeing how this is a helmet that goes on your head, such as that maggot pretending it was a helmet that went on Solaire's head. And not to mention, the wielder of this helmet was seeking light, and Solaire was also seeking light. There's a little bit of similarities there, but I'm not actually confirming that this is an official Easter egg. But hey, it's something interesting and it's definitely a possibility. And the description reads, they told me that this would help. That doesn't necessarily state that it did. But anyways, I think that's about enough fun facts. Fun facts. Anyways, besides all that awesome junk, the benefit of wearing this helmet, yes, it does eat away the darkness. Nah, I'm just kidding, it doesn't actually eat away the darkness, but supposedly, that's what it's supposed to be doing. But this helmet for the hunter actually makes it so you have 4 shots in your golden gun. So this is specific for the gunslinger subclass. I wouldn't suggest using this with the blade dancer subclass, which you typically only get 3 shots when you use this super, but with the Achlyophage Symbiote, you get 4. And that 4th shot can always be a free kill in your hands. And who knows, maybe even a lifesaver. And some other perks besides the main perk, which is, you get 1 additional shot in your golden gun. It also comes with providing you with slightly better defense, increases your throw distance for grenades, And not to mention grenade kills will replenish your super energy. And not to mention this helmet can also be good in PvE as well for spawning orbs or just to put out some more super damage, which is normally always beneficial in some type of way. All in all, if you don't have the Achlyophage Symbiote and you are a hunter, you should work on getting this helmet. It's a strong pick in PvP and PvE. That extra shot is highly beneficial. I mean, typically you're going to kill everything in one shot with your golden gun, but there are chances when they're using their supers and it's going to take you, 2 shots. Such as you need 2 shots to take out a defender's shield. You also need 2 shots to take out a Titan when the Titan's using the Fist of Panic. It's not going to be just 1 shot to kill you, get what I'm saying? But it will be 1 shot if, say, like you're going up against a Blade Dancer. This will beat the Blade Dancer. Just hope that Blade Dancer isn't close, because that light up dildo is actually a very strong, penetratable weapon. And oh yeah, the max discipline roll that you can get with this helmet is 128, which goes great with help replenishing the super energy with grenades. But yeah, that's about wrapping up the Space Cowboys helmet. Now to the light up penetrator helmet, which is also known by many as the Mask of the Third Man. Now to get into something pretty crazy here about the grimoire cards, if you guys didn't know, well you're about to know, a guy named Dredgen Yor, who completely went insane, used to wield this weapon called the Rose, which later on corrupted the Thorn as we know, which Dredgen Yor is also intertwined with a guy named Jaren Ward, who is the original wielder of the Last Word. What? 2 rival hand cannons and their stories are intertwined together? No way! Tell me more. Well, I'm not going to exactly give you guys the full explanation about this. If you guys want to further investigate this information, look into the grimoire cards about the Last Word and the Thorn, or just simply Google
Ghost Fragment, the Last Word.
And they have literally 3 of them, and they also have
Ghost Fragment, Thorn.
And they also have 2 Thorn stories. But anyways, to get on with this, the Mask of the Third Man, if you guys notice, it says it wasn't me, it was the third man. No, shut up, I don't want none of that. Now I don't know about you guys, but this actually gets me pretty interested, because what in the world? What is this text actually telling us? It wasn't me, it was the third man. Now here's a hunch of me digging up a little bit of research and found this on a forum page of them trying to explain these grimoire cards. And trust me on this, I tried looking up some things about what this text actually meant. Like, what does it mean? It wasn't me, it was the third man. For the freaking 100th time, I don't get it. What does it actually mean? Anyways, there's a hunch about this guy named Dredgen Yor, as I spoke of before. Anyways, there's something that this person wanted to point out. He doesn't exactly remember what grimoire card it was, but Dredgen Yor was questioned about his firearm, a cannon not entirely known if it is Thorn with certainty. And the way he speaks is kind of as if, well, he is possessed. A sort of third-person narrative, if you will, in this grimoire card. And well, that's the biggest reason why the mask strikes out to this person. Its description read, "It wasn't me, it was the third man." And that seems exactly like something Yor would say. And to give you guys a little bit of brief history about Dredgen Yor, well, he used to be a hunter. Since I'm covering every exotic hunter helmet so far in this video, I might as well give a little bit of brief history about some hunters. Dredgen Yor was a master hunter, if you will. He was like the typical hero guy, except for the part where he pretty much just let the darkness consume him. But everyone known about him, everyone thought about him, everyone masturbated to him. He was basically the bait master, and the bait being his luscious females that wanted to suck his heroic ding-dong. Now I believe, in my opinion, that this Dredgen Yor guy needed the Achlyophage Symbiote rather than the Mask of the Third Man. I mean, seriously, this guy literally got consumed by the darkness. Now I guys told you that War was a hunter, but I forgot to leave out the point that he was also a guardian. He was a guardian hunter from the past. There's even a rare cloak referencing this guy, Cloak of Dredgen Yor, and the text in that cloak says, before he murdered Pahanin, Dredgen Yor ruled the Crucible with the notorious Thorn at his side. That right there is pinpointing that Dredgen Yor had already went insane when he did the murdering. The darkness already consumed him because it says that the Thorn was on his side. Alright, now it's a good time to play that. Anytime now. And also getting a little bit more deeper on the hunter side, if you get the first Ghost Fragment card for the Thorn, you will notice in that story that we see a nobleman beaten down by time and a secret inner despair, finally that person gives in and embraces the darkness. I mean, I'll even read this word for word for you on what happened to Dredgen Yor. A sadness crept from the depths of his being. He had been a hero for so long, but pride had let him down sorrow's road. That's also hinting why the Thorn is one of the weapons of sorrow. Anyways, enough about that. Back to this. Slowly the shadow's whispers became a voice. a dark call, offering glories enough to make even the brightest light wonder. He knew he was fading, yet he still yearned. Now, like I said before, guys, he literally went off into the darkness. And then that's when this guy went insane because, after so long, the darkness took over him. On his last day, he sat and watched the sun fall. His final thoughts, pure of mind, if not body, held to a fleeting hope. Though they would suffer for the man he would become, the people would remember him as he had been. So he said, you know what? The people see me as this, I'm going to leave as this. So this noble man hid himself beneath the darkness no flesh should touch. And this is where the point where he started to get consumed by the darkness. And when he went down into this darkness, he gave up on his mortal self to claim a new birthright. Whether this was choice or destiny is a truth known only to fate. In that cool evening air, as dusk was devoured by night, the noble man ceased to exist. In his place another stood. And that's where I am getting at, that this is the third man. Same meat, same bone, but so very different. The first and only of his family, the sole forebear and last descendant of the name Yor. In his first moments as a new being, he looked down at his rose and realized the first time that it held no petals, only the jagged purpose of angry thorns. Now, I literally just read that for you guys right out of the ghost fragment called Thorn. And I'm telling you guys, a lot of this gear that we have intertwine with the inner story that we have to go and read, which is actually pretty insane to me and also pretty freaking phenomenal. If only Bungie decided to put this storyline and dialogue and characters into the game, this game would be freaking insane. Now, I'm not saying Destiny is a bad game, but I'm just saying there is so much more to it that a lot of us don't even realize because we have to go to a website and read about it. Now, once again, guys, that's just a hunch that Dredgen Yor might have been the third man in a way. Except he was saying it wasn't him, it was what took over him. Because once again, Dredgen Yor was talking as if he was possessed. And I have to say, overall for the story, it's still a mystery. I mean, only our imaginations can take us so far before realizing, hey, we're imagining this stuff. We don't actually realize, is that actually factual or is that not? We're just predicting our own kind of story. I don't want to give you guys false hope on, Dredgen Yor did a whole bunch of murdering and he wanted to become top, and there's this other person that had the last word, and he knew that person was going to be a little bit of a problem, so he then decided to go kill himself. I don't think it happened like that, though. But that's just me just using a little bit of my imagination. Anyways, I just got extremely deep up in this pussy, so let's get on with it. You want to be using this helmet with the Blade Dancing subclass. This helmet helps a lot with intellect, which, by the way, the max intellect for this helmet is 128. Also something pretty gnarly. On the female character, the eyes are green for the Master of the Third Man, and on the male character, it's blue. And the perks on this helmet are actually not that bad, especially the Unstable Current, which what this perk does is basically the main perk out of the helmet. Arc Blade attacks use less super energy. But for the other perks, it has Infusion, which replenishes health every time you pick up an orb, and also Switchblade increases melee attack speed, which overall is awesome. It's a great way to take down Crota in the PvE, and not to mention PvE overall, this helmet works wonders just because of the orb pickup and a longer super. That's always beneficial. And as for the PvP side, it's just absolutely phenomenal. You guys know how annoying this light up dildo can be. Also known as the Noob Penetrator, or as most of us know it, the Blade Dancer. It just wrecks, let's leave it at that. If you haven't got this helmet and you are a hunter and you do use the Blade Dancer class a lot, I highly suggest getting this. No matter what, get this helmet, you need it. Now I have 2 more Hunter exotic helmets to go over, so let's go ahead and get that cracking. Up next on this fine list of exotic Hunter helmets, I have for you guys the Knucklehead Radar. And to start off, the attribute on this helmet is Strength, and by the way, the max strength that you can get with this helmet is 128. So Discipline is the Achlyophage, Intellect is the Master of the Third Man, and for the Knucklehead, it's Strength. The description for this helmet reads, you can see the point, right? Who wants to team up with one? Now don't worry guys, I know you guys are done hearing my spiel about these descriptions. I don't have nothing crazy to say about this one. My thought about this description though is pretty much who wants to team up with a Knucklehead. But anyways, this helmet is actually not that bad in PvP gameplay. It makes your overall OP weapons even more overpowered, just because you always have the radar for you to look at. Keep in mind though that the perk on this helmet only works for primary weapons, unless you are playing on non-radar game types, such as Inferno for instance. But other than the sensor pack perk, it also has the Light the Blade perk, which what that does is causing damage with the grenade, reduces your melee cooldown, and Inverse Shadow. What this does is it increases your super energy gain from killing minions of the darkness. Now, it's supposedly like a 30% gain than say like you were using the Achlyophage Symbiote. You would actually gain your super faster using the Knucklehead Radar in the PvE world. But a lot of people actually choose the Achlyophage or the Master of the Third Man over these next two helmets. But if you catch yourself being a radar peeker and looking at the radar more than you're actually supposed to, then this helmet actually might be extremely beneficial to you in the PvP world. I mean, yeah, it can be beneficial in the PvE world, but it's going to be more to your advantage in the PvP area. Anyways, that's about it for the Knucklehead Radar. Up next is the ATS-8 Arachnid helmet. This exotic helmet came with the Dark Below, and so far this is all the Hunter exotic helmets in the game. There will be more to come in the future, especially here soon in the House of Wolves DLC, which I will go over a little bit of the exotic Hunter helmet that's going to be coming with the House of Wolves. And also so far, the Arachnid is my least favorite exotic Hunter helmet out of them all. I know, hate on me, hate on your old rifle. Like, what the heck, rifle? That's my favorite helmet right there. I will admit, it does look freaking sweet, but the overall use I get out of this helmet is not much. The description reads, Advanced Tactical Sensorium, Induced Hallucinations, Integrated Broad Spectrum Targeting Data. So nothing too crazy with the description. A nice thing about this helmet though is the perks, the Ashes to a Set and Light the Blade. It's a great combination, because Light the Blade helps recharge your grenade energy, and Ashes to a Set helps recharge your super energy by getting grenade kills. So that's pretty nice. What's special about this helmet is it allows you to zoom in extremely far with the golden gun. Now some of you might find that useful. I, on the other hand, do not whatsoever. I don't really understand why the golden gun needs to zoom in further. I mean, sure, I can see that being kind of useful in the PvE world, but for the PvP, I mean, come on. I wouldn't choose this over the Achlyophage. That's just my opinion, though. I mean, just think about it, though. All helmets have different type of style of gameplays for them. But is this helmet actually only useful for people that are nearsighted? I don't understand it. I mean, okay, I can see further with the golden gun. That means I can shoot at a further distance. But still, nothing, no bonuses, nothing. I'd rather an additional shot rather than just zooming in. But that's just me. It's not like this actually makes the golden gun more powerful as in damage-wise. It's still the same. But anyway, besides the Arachnid Sensorium perk, the other perks on this helmet is Light the Blade, which you guys know what that does now, and Ashes to a Set, just like the Achlyophage Symbiote. Except the Achlyophage gives you an additional bullet, and this just lets you zoom in further. I mean, if it came down to it and you had the distance on the person having the Achlyophage Symbiote, and you were wielding this helmet, you would be able to take out the Achlyophage Symbiote wielder just because you have more of a precise shot at a longer distance. But who's running around with the golden gun anyways pretending it's a sniper? Not many. I mean, the look on this helmet though, don't get me wrong. Aesthetically, it looks beautiful. This helmet looks awesome. Bunch of eyes on it. It looks like it's going to do some serious work. But nah, it doesn't. Before I wrap up this helmet though, what's also pretty cool about it is it splits attributes. It has a strength and discipline split, which the max strength split would be 73 and the max discipline split would be 73 as well. It may be pretty beneficial to your split, but overall this helmet isn't that recommended in my opinion. But lastly but not least on the list is the new House of Wolves helmet that's coming here soon. It actually hasn't released yet, and it's called the Exotac Angel Hunter helmet. And what this helmet does is while you jump, it significantly increases your weapon's accuracy for a short time. I can see this helmet being overlooked by a lot of people, but I can actually see this helmet being kind of useful for PvP, especially if you're the one to jump around or blink around everywhere. You know, you can confuse your opponents and still keep a precise aim on them. And it doesn't necessarily say that you have to be using a primary for this perk on the helmet to take effect. So that means for shotgun users, man, this would be absolutely insane. Juking out your opponents, jumping left and right, and getting them with that final blow. And while their accuracy may be going down the hill because they're jumping left and right, your accuracy will still maintain a solid shot. And also could lead you to a bunch of solid kills. I guess when it comes down to it, we're just going to have to see how this exotic hunter helmet plays out. But you guys now know what the perk does for the helmet. And do you actually find it that useful? In my opinion, I don't. I mean, I can see it being useful in a way, but I still wouldn't choose it over the Achlyophage or the Master of the Third Man. But who knows, the helmet looks boss, so it might be boss. But then again, as the old saying goes, you can't judge a book by its cover. But that's about wrapping up this video, guys. Hopefully you guys have enjoyed all these exotic hunter helmets bundled in this one video for you guys to enjoy. This took me quite some time to create for you all, and if you could, it would be greatly appreciated if you take a little bit of your time and leave a like. It helps out a lot. Thanks in advance if you decide to do so. Once again, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I'm out of here though, everyone. Remember to stay safe and don't sleep and pee. That's very important. Peace out.